which brings us to Sutra 120. And it reads, Shraddha Virya Smriti Samadhi Prajna Apurvaka Itare Shram. In the case of others, and I think it's fairly safe to assume that most of us are probably not in either of those samadhi camp, born highly realized. I don't want to pass judgment on you, Victoria, or anything. I'm just, wild guess here. It says, in the case of others, samadhi is preceded by. So here's the tooling, right? Here's the part where we can get out our little work apron and our yoga mat and our mala and get busy. Right? Is preceded by, number one, faith. Number two, vigor. Number three, retentive power, or more simply, memory. Stillness of mind, and intuitive wisdom. And at first glance, that may sound like a wonderful list of pretty yoga sounding things that have to do with, something about becoming a better person, right? Or doing yoga stuff. And there is a kind of systematic nesting of these principles, like this one begets that one, begets that one, begets that one, or we could see them as like dispersed bits that are we're orbiting. It's a little bit like plot points, maybe how the ancients used to navigate the night sky. Like, there's that star and this star, and now I know where I am, So I find that the teachings as a whole provide some reflection, some navigation, like a map, and help me live into yoga. So just very briefly, one by one, faith, Shraddha, number one. Number one about number one is just fun to say, like Shraddha. I feel like this kind of lift. Yes, I sort of embrace just saying the word itself, Shraddha, which means faith. And in my estimation, the human experience is embedded with faith in some form or another. It's not a question of if we have faith, but rather faith in what? We have faith that the phone will provide us lasting and enduring happiness and contentment and fulfillment? Or do we have faith in our family members, or a certain, etiquette and communication, or faith in this institution or that institution, or science for that matter, the principles or teachings of science, to use my kind of parlance? Not a question of if we have faith, but faith in what? And the kind of mega map or mega constellations that the yoga is drawing is to it describes dimensions of this creation or this existence that rest outside the domain of our five senses. It says, yes, sensory experience is part of the picture, an integral part of the picture, but it's not the only vantage point that the human being is capable of. And this is what happened when we look very deeply in our mind, and they paint these kind of pictures of some kind of cosmic proportion. And as yoga practitioners, we can orient or have some faith in that description as well. So the nesting says that this kind of faith that I described yields vigor, yields enthusiasm. When we have a pursuit of a higher vision, that it gives us energy. And whether we have vision of a faith in a higher vision or not, vigor is still an integral part of the practice. So we might associate vigor with overly outward or something like this, but nonetheless, vigor is an important component of success in any endeavor, whether it's yoga or business, or whether you're a contractor or opening a flower studio. Flower studio, did I just say? Ladies and gentlemen, Pasha Gorov just opened the one and only Monet. Help me out. Monet, last name of the studio? Precisely. So congratulations. So if you're opening a flower store, that's going to take a bit of vigor, and he's been slogging away at all that. And the second is memory, or third rather, is memory. And what I understand this to mean is that we recall or keep the main thing the main thing. We keep the yoga project right in front of us. There's a sticker, an Om sticker in the center of our dashboard, wherever we drive, that says, like, remember this, remember the main thing, remember your study of yoga. And this can take the form of japa, that's just convenient method. It's a recitation of divine sound, or kind of celestial sound, or cosmic sound mantra, right? And memory in and of itself is quite interesting in that it's a version of the past that just seems to be following us around wherever we go, one way or another. It's a peculiar concept. This verse kind of struck a note of curiosity to understand more about memory, like where it seems kind of like, well, where do you put your finger on the memory equation? Yet here it is informing, my very words as we speak. So memory of yoga, keeping the main thing the main thing. Then it says stillness of mind, and the word they use here is samadhi, actually. So in order to get samadhi, practice samadhi, I have some questions about the sort of that terminology. Maybe it means something slightly different in this context. I'm eager to follow up with my mentor and figure out more about this. And then finally, prajna, or intuitive wisdom or knowledge. Intuitive, that's another delightful one to say. It rings. Prajna, you feel this kind of lifting of the mental space when I say it. Prajna. And it said that the ultimate form of prajna, or intuitive wisdom or discernment, is to view the distinction between consciousness and matter, or Purush and Prakriti. To see, to in your vision, start to tease apart the hard gripping of awareness and identity with material circumstance. So to lessen the bond that says, I am my bank account, I am my car, I am my savings account or lack thereof, I am, these particular circumstances, etc. And to gradually generate, like, I am the awareness that is watching me be attached to this all-changing phenomenal objects. And so the prajna is to become more and more established in that recognition or realization, or of accurate vision of awareness as deeply interwoven, but simultaneously distinct from all the particular vacillating circumstances of up and down, and maybe some appreciation for how the embodied self gets kind of dragged along for the ride. So prajna is that vision or distinction. So once again, Shraddha, Virya, so Shraddha, faith, Virya, vitality, energy, Smriti, memory, Samadhi, stillness of mind, Prajna, intuitive wisdom, Apurvaka iteration. Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Apurvaka iteration. In the case of others, most of us, yet samadhi is preceded by reverential faith, vigor, retentive power, stillness of mind, and intuitive wisdom. So how we roll that into asana practice is, well, a bit of a challenge, but I think we'll aim at retentive power and a bit of stillness of mind. That'll be our aim. And this will take the form of a fair number of forward folds, which we, I don't know, we typically don't emphasize as much. And we'll just see the imprint of these things in our kind of retentive stillness of mind space. Okay. So with that, please come onto your backs with your head towards me.